Hi everybody, welcome back to the Château de Grifferaie. A very unusual week for us.
It was full.
It was incredibly full, both with personal things in our life. We had a lot of trade guys coming over. Normally we're working on little projects here and there. This week was more relational. We met some folks and we had a bunch of projects we did not know how they would go. And so we went in with kind of, I guess, an open hands kind of policy on the week.
So one really great thing that happened, there's goods and bads to being away from North America, right? Because it's great in France, but our kids are back home. So there was one thing that happened that was very exciting for Amy and Isaac this week, and that is they bought their first house.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. We're happy for them. And it's been a lot of texting back and forth and
yeah, so it was ups and downs. You remember we're still hurting with our friend from last week. And then we're excited for our daughter and our son-in-law who bought a house. And then our other kids had a bit of a health scare. So it was up and down and up and down, up and down. Now, in terms of the chateau, the big project that we were looking at was the sports court. Mm-hmm. We're back at it, and you could have an ugly basketball game here. I mean, there's definitely some areas where things are broken up, but you know, there's asphalt there. 3 companies coming this week, so that's very exciting, very exciting. We're gonna try to get this whole thing cleared off by the end of the week, which is no small job, and then we'll kill the weeds. There's another problem area over there. And then we'll pressure wash again, and yeah, it's good. We've cleared out the base of the fence, which is nice. It's been a long time since that's been clear, so weed whip both sides, and then we're trying to, not sure what to do with this. This feels like it's a bunch of debris sitting there and it's a little bit lower, but I'll probably shovel it out, I guess. Probably what we'll have to do. It's a big week, big day here at the Château de Grifferaie. You can see, look at that, by the way, you can see, if I can figure this out here, you can see Leslie's beautiful statue. Isn't that nice? She got that all fixed up. Yeah, really exciting week, different week for me. I'm wearing not dirty clothes. That's very unusual. I got a pair of jeans on today. We have friends out and they're looking at the sports court with us. Today we have 4 sets of contractors coming. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Unbelievable. And another one tomorrow. And so we've got three looking at the sports court and then 1 for heat pumps. So as you know, we've had a lot of projects going on. It's another couple months till our students come. So this is the time of year when we do all our improvements and repair everything and that sort of thing. And so we're gonna I've been working hard, pressure washing, cleaning off the court. And we have some friends from the States who own a paving and concrete company. Very exciting, and they have expertise in this, so they're giving us good advice and they're showing us, they're gonna help us clear some stuff too and talk to our guys, and we'll see. We're hoping we get a really good, we're hoping we're gonna get some good estimates that are feasible. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. It was interesting, I was talking to our board, our nonprofit board, about the idea of working on the court, and I said, you know, this is a wonderful bonus, like something we wouldn't have probably counted on, or you know, we wouldn't have planned on. It's just something that maybe would have been out of reach for us, but potentially it could not. If we could get it done, and it'd be awesome. And I was saying it's like a bonus. And then one of our board members, Susan, who is also a cook, she said, you know, I would argue it's not, it's actually closer to an essential. Like when the students are here, they spend so much time running around playing and playing volleyball, and it's healthy fun. And it's good interaction, and this will, and so I thought, well, you know, that's a good point too. There's a lot of worse things young people can be doing than running around, getting in shape, and you know, exercising and having fun with each other. So it'd be a tremendous win for the program if we can get this thing cleaned up. Man, I think there's maybe been 20 years of grit. We've had, as I mentioned on this channel, we had the GAs several times in the last couple of years. They've been out there with the shovel and the blower and the weed whips and the mowers. And so they've cleared it off. I think this is maybe the 4th time we've gone over it. This time I blew, you know, I used the blower to clear it off and then shovel, and there's so much grime. And there's asphalt under there. So very exciting. We'll see what happens. Stay with us today. So we were super curious to see what these quotes would look like. We had 3 companies come out, 4 if you include the Beaujolais guys. And as we started talking to them, it became really clear to all of us pretty quickly, pretty early on that...
Plushare.
Yeah, Plushare, quite expensive. Like the guys they were all wanting to do stuff that we didn't need. Like you know, they want to put a new fence in. They want to put like concrete around the outside. And I'm kind of like, guys, we don't need a gold-plated tennis court here. This is not like
the Olympics.
It's not the Olympics.
No.
This is just some kids playing, you know, basketball and tennis. And so it, you know, our hope was going in that we were going to find a great quote and be able to resurface the whole thing. But pretty quickly we realized we're not going to be able to do that. We're not going to be able to afford that.
Yeah.
So we pivoted. We realized that we're not going to be able to get the contractor to come and do everything right now, at least maybe down the road. But we thought, well, if we're going to try to do repairs, we've got to find some materials, which normally takes a week or so to arrive. But we didn't have a week. So we started going on the internet, looking at all the different stores, and we found 3 different stores with
Product.
and Robé et Froid. I believe they they said Robé.
Oh, did they?
There must be an accent.
Asphalt.
Yeah.
Cold asphalt.
Cold asphalt. We found, and we bought out any store within about 100 kilometers. And it worked great. Well, we had to drive an hour, but we found 20 more pails. We bought the whole area. We bought 3 stores out, and many stores didn't have it, hardly any. And it was great. Again, I've mentioned that we had our friends here helping us, and they had expertise. So they went out and they bought some materials for us and some tools. Thank you very much.
No,
and also showed us a bunch of value. That they told us, they gave us good advice as we were trying to do this. There's Mr. Bingley joining the party. But also, then they showed us how to actually fix the asphalt. Check this out. All right, we're working on this court. We got the cold asphalt. Look at this. That look great. Look, it's patched. That's patched, and that's good because we have all kinds of big holes. So this is great. We've got Charles and Debbie Peters from Peters Asphalt and Concrete. I'm probably got the name of the company wrong. So it's awesome. He's been doing this for years and years as a company. He's showing us how to do it. So kids will be playing basketball this year, and he's one hard-working man. Oh my goodness! I had to work hard in the shovel just to keep up. Huge holes, and Charles has already leveled them all. I was telling him, I was asking him if his guys at home at the business would enjoy watching him do all the manual labor, but he says he still does it. He still does the manual labor at the company, so the guys are used to seeing him working. So it's gonna be great. Kids are gonna have fun. We're gonna play some basketball. You know, we went into the week kind of hoping for the whole thing to be new, but it is gonna be a good solution, and it's definitely a step forward. Okay, here's where we're at the end of the week. We have, by the way, lots and lots of pails now. That's awesome. Those are so handy. And look at these wonderful patches. This looks so flat. You are totally going to be able to bounce a basketball in this. So I think what we're going to do, we couldn't find enough asphalt for everything. I think we're going to set a hoop up here. You can play like a 3-on-3. And that's pretty good. That's pretty good pavement for bouncing. And then I think we're gonna do pickleball here. I think we can set up. It's a small court pickleball, and we've got enough good asphalt here. I think we're gonna paint some lines, and we'll get a pickleball thing going. And at least, you know, for the next year or two, it's not perfect, but it's great, and it's gonna be super fun. We also have a work week coming up with some friends coming from Canada, and so I think what we're gonna do is we can order 1 ton of cold asphalt, much cheaper, and we're going to have that arrive, and then maybe a couple of them will help us finish off some of the areas that are left. Now, we got almost everything. We ran out of material, but I guess the challenge with he's telling us the challenge when you're doing this kind of thing is to make sure you don't make it like a high point, like make it rounded. So we have to try to keep it flat really hard, and we'll do that, and we'll see how we do.
You gotta love a happy dog. He loves a good carpet with nothing on it, don't ya? A little bonus Bingley content. You want to play fetch? Come here. Bring me the ball. Meanwhile, you can enjoy the beauty on a hot white house against a blue sky. I do enjoy that. So we also had some heat pump trade guys come out and keep talking about that because we haven't forgot. Heaven knows we've had a cold spell creep back in. I thought we were all done for the year. Apparently not. So that was exciting. We'll see how that pans out. We haven't heard any prices yet. So
the guys are good guys. We love Jeremy. He's our electrician, and this is one of his friends.
Yeah, the trade
so they
guys were
came
good.
out. They said it can all be done. We're looking at 6, maybe 8 different heat pumps. Now, again, it's always kind of a mental. It always takes a minute for guys to kind of get their mind around a Château, because normally, you know, if you're doing a trade, you're kind of thinking, well, what kind of power do you need to get this house warm in the winter? And we're thinking it's never going to be warm in the winter.
The goal is to not see your breath.
Yeah.
Couple degrees warmer.
You know, they want to know how many cubic square feet and how many how big are the windows and all that. And I'm like, guys, there's only a couple numbers that matter. How much does it cost, and how much heat does it put out? And you know, we're not talking about getting it to 19 Celsius,
degrees,
70 degrees Fahrenheit in December. We're talking about getting it to 55, 60 in April. That's what we're trying for. So, you know, it's not an ideal situation. And sometimes when trades come in, they want to do everything perfectly. And so, both in terms of the court and also the heat pumps, that was a bit of a challenge this week. When we have trade guys come onto the property to look at any project, usually the first thing they say is they look around at the yard and they say, who takes care of this? You take care of all this? And we say, yep. And it seems like they think that this would be a lot of work to take care of the yard, which it is. But they have no idea how much more work the renovations are and the repairs inside. And then of course our plan, the way we're operating, is to run a study abroad program. So that means you've got, well, there's 4 months where you're running it. You've got to recruit, you've got to admit, you got to do articulation agreements with schools, you got to send out transcripts, you got to grade, you've got to, and what do you gotta do? You do tax forms, IRS forms, probably a little bit of fundraising is not a bad idea. Writing out tax deductible receipts. There's no shortage. There's no shortage of things to do, much more than the yard. The yard's the fun part. You get out to the garden as we'd call it in England, yard in Canada, and it's just great to be out in the sun. Progress really came in a multitude of forms this past week. We got a shipment of all of our electrical stuff. We're gonna replace our circuit breakers on the premier etage instead of kind of archaic hard fuse, like those little physical fuses. You know, breakers with physical fuses. We're gonna go to modern electrics, which will greatly lower our chance of a fire. Also, we're gonna try some solar panel stands. I tried hard with mine, they're just not beautiful enough. And also, we bought 6 more solar panels. So we're gonna double our capacity. That was $1,200 by the way, 6 solar panels, 3,000 kilowatt hours more. We're now gonna be up to 6,000 kilowatt hours. And it only cost us $1,200 to double it like that. Crazy.
I was just out picking a few daffodils to take inside, and I noticed some more yellow over here. Anybody got a hot clue what this is? I have no idea what that is. It's super low on the ground. This is the big tree it's under. Really, really big tree, is like a fir tree. And that's it. It's very strange. Never seen it before. So that's kind of crazy. If anybody knows, let me know. So as always, there's not only just one thing happening. We have a bunch of other little reoccurring things underneath the main current. One was still getting our paperwork for the car.
I was gonna talk out here, but the wind's going really hard, so I don't know if it's gonna work. Okay guys, it's Saturday. This video will be up in a few minutes, and I am getting ready to drive into Angers for our 9th trip to try to register our car. Now, last week, you remember that on our 6th trip, we were rejected because of a missing document. We sent it to the original seller. She was very gracious and emailed it back. Thank you very much, registered mail. So our 7th trip, Leslie drove into Beaujais to pick up that document. And they said since it was addressed to me, they couldn't give it to her. So she came home. I got in the car the 8th trip and got the document. Ninth time, we're going into Angers. We're hoping they're gonna give us this registration for the car. 9th time, we got our 7 documents all lined up and itemized. We've gone over it 2 or 3 times. Fingers crossed, prayers up. 9th time, also a failure. I walked in and they said, oh, there's 2 owners. They both have to sign both documents. So we have to get a signature from both owners who live in Poitiers, 2 hours away.
One was still getting our paperwork for the car, which has finally, I think, sorted itself out as of today. And the other was we finally got our French visas again renewed. So
yeah,
all very exciting.
Yeah.
But have become kind of secondary with all the other crazy stuff going on, if you can imagine.
Yeah, the day after our visas expired, we got a notice that they now are renewed for another year. So that's great. We're legal in France.
Great news.
Also got a response from the Louvre. They booked us for our France group. So that was good. The car good. Lots of little things were good. One of my favorite parts about this week, honestly, was relational. We got to know some friends. Now, again, our friends from California, they were new friends. You know, we didn't really know each other. We had a few days together. We ate some great meals.
We did.
You know, you're in France, you got to try some great food places. All right, we're having some great dessert here. Here we go. Whoa. Foamy turmeric.
I know, it's cool.
That sounds troubling.
No. And then,
You probably want that.
Yeah, it looks good.
Glace vanille et morceaux de chocolat.
nice.
Pour monsieur, vous allez retrouver la larme à la framboise, marmelade de fruits rouges, crème calamansi, glace à la fraise. Bonne fin de repas à vous.
And we just had a lot of times talking.
Yeah, they're great.
That's been one of the really great things about doing the Château is you meet all kinds of different people. You know, sometimes they're buying a Château in the area. Sometimes people take an interest in what we're doing with young people, or maybe they love Château. You actually ran into some fellow Château owners in a brocante.
Did in our local brocante. It was pretty funny, actually. They have a Château on the other side of one of our cities, and so that's exciting. It's always kind of fun meeting other North Americans who have got themselves in the same situation we have, and to share stories, and they're just at the beginning of their adventure. So
yeah, we can all commiserate.
Lots of
and
interesting
talk
things.
about, like in this case, they're talking about a roof too. So we're talking a lot about that. So and then of course right at the end of the week also we got to have dinner with a couple of our pastors from our church. Wonderful, Daniel and Dina. We just enjoy every time we get to see those guys. They're fantastic.
Yeah,
and it was pretty funny too. He said since apparently champagne got tariffed 200% from France, apparently. The United States put a tariff on it, 200%. And so he said in celebration, we've still got champagne here. We'll have champagne tonight. And so that was a great meal. You know what? It was a good week. It wasn't exactly the week we expected, but we made steps, we made progress, we moved forward, both in terms of like the official stuff, the documents, the formulas, and also the court and the experience of our students. When you're in another country, you don't always get everything you want, and you don't always get it as fast as you want. But if you're patient and you keep going forward, you
Baby steps.
Get where you need to go.
So thanks for checking in with us again this week, and we'll see you next week.